Hey guys, welcome back to Superman Vault. First off, thank you so much for all the love that I've received on my channel these last couple weeks. Super great to be welcomed back into the world of YouTube. And I'm super excited to use this platform to share my Superman collection with you all. So I've got two special pieces here that I want to share with you today, both that retro gaming arcade feel. And the first is this 1978 pinball machine, followed by this 1989 arcade cabinet. So let's start with the pinball machine here. So 1978, this pinball machine was made by Atari. That's right, the same company that made Pong and those early video game systems. Now, Atari only ever made 4 pinball machines. So this is kind of a difficult machine to find because a lot of the parts, if they go bad, you can't replace them. Because they only made 4, these are incredibly hard to fix and get working. And so in nice working condition, this pinball machine retails for about $4,000 to $5,000. Now, years ago, I was at a local auction and I saw this beauty come up for sale. Didn't know if it worked. I took a chance, put a bid in, won it for about $400. Then I hauled it to the other side of town where there happened to be a guy that worked on old arcade games. About another $500 to get it working. Actually, I think it was more than that. I think it was like $700 to get it working. But thankfully, it was a big gamble, but thankfully he was able to fix it. So about $1,100 all in, I got this beauty here. It works for the most part. There's a couple lights off here and there. The little multi-ball thing right here is not working, so I had to put a little stop there. And if you leave it plugged in too long, it kind of overheats and stops. But some of these issues popped up in the last couple years. Let me show you how gameplay works here. Oh, the other thing, one of the flippers kind of gets stuck. So let's go ahead and start again. And I'll have you kind of zoom in on the gameplay panel here so I can show you things. So, again, really cool. You've got Lex Luthor, comic book style. So this came out at the time of the movie, the Christopher Reeve movie. But you can see the graphics are mostly based off the comic books. You got that classic green and purple Lex Luthor there. And then also some really cool features here. You got everything from the bumpers to the Fortress of Solitude spillway to Luthor's lair pathway up there. Metropolis, Daily Planet, some really cool stuff. I've always loved this machine. I think it's great. You get 5 balls per game. I've set a couple high scores through the years. Believe it or not, we used to have this in our small little 2-bedroom apartment. It was one of the only things on display. That thing was loud. I may have blown a fuse or two, but it was well worth it. This thing is awesome. All right, let me take you to the next piece here. This is a little bit newer here, 1989 on this, so we're kicking it back from the 80s, which I think is appropriate. You got the arcade cabinet here. This is made by Taito. I don't know. You know more than I do probably about the vintage arcade games. But this was a surprise from my parents for Christmas one year. And you can imagine the look on my face when we walked into their house and this beauty was sitting right here. So this one is actually loaded up with 1,000 different vintage games. Of course, this right here is the one I care about, and that is Mr. Superman right here. So the original Superman game, it kind of sucked, but the best part of the game is it did feature John Williams' classic Superman theme, as well as Can You Read My Mind from Superman the movie. The reason I'm talking right now and not playing that is for copyright issues, so I don't want to play too much of that there, but I'll try to sprinkle in some photos of the gameplay here. But one of the cool parts about the game was that there was a brand new character, a new villain debuted for this particular game. The name was Emperor Zos. So why they wouldn't have used more of a mainstream villain, I'm not sure. But the game was the first to roll out, and I think the only use of the character since. But the game's kind of boring. You really just kind of move back and forth and punch people, fly up and down. But again, it was the 80s. A lot of these games weren't too awfully detailed. So it's not like you were missing out on too much by playing this game. What I'm trying to say, this wasn't the only game that was basic. But yeah, really fun game to play, even if it's not anything special. But if you're a Superman fan like me, it's fun because the nostalgia is retro, and of course, a wicked cool cabinet. And thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you are for all kinds of amazing Superman collectibles videos. Also, if there's a style of video you want to see, my collection comprises over 15,000 pieces. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you want to see videos about. I'll try to show you some awesome pieces of Superman history. I've got some really cool stuff to share, but I want to know what you want to see next.